Good morning.
Good morning. We're having a good laugh here.
Yeah. I have to watch myself. After I rewatch these videos and I see how boss Linda around, I said, I gotta quit doing that. And just now I was setting up the table and I said, Linda, now pull your chair on around here and sit down, and it clicked with me. Now Mary, you gotta quit doing that. I'm telling her what to do. I don't know why I do
It's
that.
just funny. I do the same thing.
I do what she tells me to do, and
I do what she tells me to do.
Anyway, we're doing the apple dumplings. We're going to be doing this morning, and it says just to put a small piece of apple in there, but I like a lot of apples, so I put a little bit more. So first thing I'm going to do is, and this is Pampered Chef, and I wash my apples. And you just press that thing down in there. Now, if you don't have one, you can just score them. We're using the Pillsbury Crescent Rolls. Is what we're using. And it has 8 in it. So you can, if you slicing your apples by hand, well, you can cut it in 8 if you want them big. Now, this little cutter does more than 8. It does, let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I do use a whole apple on them. So, and
are those Granny Smith apples?
These right here, I think these are Granny Smith apples. You can use whatever flavor you want, but Granny Smith and Fuji, I think, is the best to use on this. And you notice I didn't peel them, but the reason I did is because I have arthritis in my hands. So I score them and then I slice it because it's easier for me to hold. I can't hardly, in potatoes or anything I gotta peel, it's my hands. I just can't help it. My hands, they hurt.
So you want the peeling off of them?
I do.
Okay.
I do, Linda. Thank you.
You're welcome. Granny Smith, Fuji, and Honeycrisp are the best apples to hold their texture.
Yeah.
Mama always liked a delicious apple. Remember, Mary?
Yes, she did.
She liked them
And
because
I did
they were
too.
easy to eat.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
mellow and soft.
Yeah.
But when you're doing something that you're baking and you want a whole texture, these are your best apples to get.
Yeah, they are. But I'm like Mother, I always like the delicious
that
ones
all
too.
of them?
I think that's it. And see, that was easy to peel to me, easier than trying to rotate that apple around. Okay, so now I've got my apples. I just push them aside. I've got a little mat here. I'm doing this because I just like to have a little mat. And I'd already opened this one. And I just crack it open. And my daughter called me, Carla, my oldest daughter. She had her birthday this week. And
She was 52, right? 52, is that right?
yeah, I think that's right.
Born
Yeah,
68.
yeah, she's 52. And she called me on the way over here, and we had a nice little visit. I always look forward to her call every morning.
Didn't you used to call Mama every morning, Mary?
I did. I always call Mother. Okay, now I need to get, I need another little small bowl, Linda.
Okay.
I forgot to tell you that.
Do you need one that you're going to microwave? Or
No, I'm just going to mix up some sugar and cinnamon, just a little sugar and cinnamon to.
Is this one too small?
No, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you.
This is my favorite.
I'm just
bowls.
making up a little.
Sugar and cinnamon?
Sugar
Is it
and
what
cinnamon.
you need? I already had some mixed up.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh, I figured you did. But anyway, I'm not even measuring that. That's probably a tablespoonful. And let me see. Let me get another spoon. What about? Anyway, it reminded me of when Carla was born. My husband was 23 when we got married, and
how old were you?
I was
19
20.
or
I was
20?
20. Got married in April, and my birthday's in October, so I was just a little over 20 years old, and he wanted start a family just right off the bat. He wanted to have a child so bad, and so we was married probably about 7 months. Yeah, we wasn't married probably 3 months, and he had a cold, so he went to the doctor, and he asked the doctor, could it be something wrong with him? That because we hadn't had a baby, hadn't gotten pregnant yet. And the doctor said, well, how long you been married? And like I said, I think it's been about 3 months. And he told him 3 months. He said, sir, after you've been married 3 years, come back and ask me that then. It was 7 months before I got pregnant. But anyway, it was funny because Bobby was ready to start a family.
He loved his family.
He loved. And Carlo, he loved that baby so much.
He sure did.
He loved all his kids, but he really... what I'm doing now, I mixed up it was probably maybe a half a cup of sugar and about a tablespoon of cinnamon. And I'm putting that on this. As you see. Can you see what I'm doing? All right, I put 2 apple slices on that. And I sprinkled a little sugar and cinnamon all the way down it. Like that. And it's going to have that. Close it up like that. And let me see here. I'm going to spray my pans. I'm doing apple and peach today. My grandson, he loves these apple dumplings so much. And I've done apple for him several times.
Do you need me to melt this butter yet?
You can go ahead and melt it. I'm just not going to put the stuff in it because I found out if you melt that butter too soon, it starts getting hard with the sugar and it's too hard to pour. But anyway, I hope everybody is having a good day today. I certainly am. I missed coming to my sister's last week.
I missed you too. It just seemed like the week didn't go right.
No, it didn't, did it?
We're going to be cooking at Mary's house
yeah.
in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be coming to my house pretty soon.
So she doesn't have to drive to my house every time.
I get, when the morning that I'm coming over here and I know I'm coming, I don't sleep well because I'm got so much on my mind until I've been up since 5 to 5:30, and I leave the house about 7 or 7:30. So,
and for everybody that's still young, like in your 50s or even in your 60s, and don't laugh, but we've said this so many times before, people should write a book about what to expect when you get old, and it needs to be somebody that is old, not somebody that's 25 or 30 or 40 years old. Your sleep patterns change as you get older.
Yes.
And it's, I would say, I probably average maybe 2 or 3 nights a week that I sleep good. And if you've got something that you're going to do the next day, it's just hard to sleep. It's you go to sleep and then you wake up and you know you got to do it, so you start thinking about it.
Do.
And we're doers anyway. The Pinksons are. So once our mind gets going, it's hard to stop us.
Well, I always usually when I go to bed, if I got something to do the next day, I'm usually planning at what I'm doing. Sometimes I even have to write myself a note exactly what I need to do that next when I get up, or I will I literally will forget if I don't write myself a note. Now you need to do this and put this together, that together, and I've got to do another apple, which I knew I was going to have to do because I put 2. Now, like I said, most people who make these only put 1 slice of apple per triangle. I put 2 because I like, when I bite into that, I want some apple. So it takes more than 1. Doing it, putting it in 2.
Yeah, you want a good ratio. You don't want all dough.
Yeah. And this is one of the easiest desserts. And like I said, my little grandson that just had the surgery, I carried him a pan of them, and my daughter, and he's hard to please, trust me. And my daughter called me a day or 2 or afterwards, and she said, Mother, she said, you can make some more of them apple dumplings. Nathan just loves them. So I made him 2 pans the next time. And now I'm gonna make some peach today and apple.
I never thought about peach, but I know those would be good too.
Won't they be good? Yeah. And I haven't made any peach ones yet, so I just put a little sugar and cinnamon on there.
a very, very simple dessert.
Very
and
simple.
Something that's, you could even get the kids involved in helping
Exactly.
you make these.
Yes, you could. You sure could.
I
Yes.
think we love being together and we love cooking. We always have. But one of our main goals of us doing this, other than being together and visiting and having a good time, we want you to get your kids and grandkids in the kitchen. Life is so short.
Right.
And, you know, I look back 50, 60 years, I don't even know where the 50, 60 years are gone. Take the time while you can, while you're
Yes.
able to, while your kids want to be around you. Get them in the kitchen. They're going to remember those times.
Right.
I'll tell you, it will be some of the best times and memories of their life.
Right.
So, instead of ordering out, get them in the kitchen and make something. You can make something and it tastes so good, and the kids will be so proud. Mary's little great grandkids are always so happy when they get to help in the kitchen, aren't they, Mary?
Yes, they are. They love it. And the last time they came, I let them cook breakfast, the whole breakfast, with my help. And they told me, said, Mima, this is the best breakfast. And they was so proud themselves because what they made was blueberry pancakes, and I had made a strawberry syrup, and they put syrup on it and some fresh strawberries and Cool Whip, and and bacon, and they love that breakfast.
These are Renee's girls. Hey,
That's Renee's girls.
And
yes.
Renee is an excellent cook.
Yes, she
and
is.
she loves
Her
to
mother
cook.
is,
And
yeah.
she lets the kids help her. But it's just something about being at Grandma's house that.
Right.
Have you ever tried that with a?
I have not tried that. That's what I was
With the
thinking.
thing.
I don't think that's going to work, Linda, but let's
Because
try
it's
it.
soft.
Yeah, let's
may
try it
not.
and see if it will. We washed these peaches. I'm going to see what this will do. May not work, but we're going to try it. You know? Well,
It is working.
it hit my cinnamon there.
It's that because it's got that seed.
Oh,
in the
that's
middle.
right. It's got that seed in there. But that's okay.
But
you know
it
what?
didn't
It did
do
pretty
bad,
good.
did it?
No, it didn't. Let's go ahead and slice this up.
That was a nice peach. Now, if it had been overripe, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. You have to cut this little bit out. You got a pan for me to put it in? I'm gonna have to wash my board off here when I get through.
Yeah, let me get your cookie sheet.
Now, what do you do?
You said you wanted a pan?
No.
Cookie sheet?
No, I said I got to wash my thing
Oh,
off here.
okay.
I'm gonna use the same pan here.
Okay.
I'm just getting this cleaned off. And like I said, this is peach one I've never done before. And you can use fresh peaches too. I had bought these peaches and I thought I'd try it with the fresh peaches and see how that worked.
I bet this is going to be good.
Mm-hmm. I think it will be.
This is something, apple dumplings that you'll get at the amusement parks,
Yeah.
like places around Branson,
Yeah.
Silver Dollar City, and stuff like that.
I've still got Carla on my mind this morning. And I was thinking about, Carla was very independent from the very beginning. I don't know if you want to call it independent, stubborn, hard-headed.
She definitely had a mind of her
Whatever
own.
you want to call it. That girl was very independent. And even when she was young, I mean, she put her own clothes on at an early age. She didn't know, and pick her clothes out. I'm not kidding. When that child was little, I'd pick something out and try to put it on her, and she said no, she wanted something else. She wanted something different. So that's how we did with that. But anyway, when she was, my husband was a union bricklayer, and it kind of, we lived in Mississippi. Carla was born in Mississippi, but he wanted to move back to Texas, so we moved back to Texas, and we moved to Houston, and she was about, Chuck was just a baby. He was less than 2 years old. He was a little over a year, but he was about 2 years old. And Carla was 5. And my husband, I think I might have said this before, on here that my husband's appendix burst on him when he was on the job, and so he wound up in the hospital for a while, and so when he got out, we run a paper route because that was something we both could do, and
he wasn't able to
go back to work. So we got a paper route, which was run on Sunday and at night. Anyway, we could take the kids with us. And they kept us. But we had decided that we could probably needed to get a babysitter some of the time because sometimes we were gone too long. And so for the kids to be in the truck with us. So we found a babysitter, and we done references, checks. We got character witnesses, all of that on this lady. It was a lady out of her home. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
And we found this lady, and we went to her house, invested, and she had several other children in the home with her besides my two. And so this one Sunday, was delivering papers early that day, like we always had to do on Sunday. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Because I had kind of got it messy. So they was at the babysitter. And when we got through doing the paper route that day, there was a meat market on our route, and we stopped at the meat market, which made us be probably 20 minutes later than normal. But when we drove up, we wanted to go by the house and put the meat up in the freezer before we picked up the kids. Well, our landlord, because we was renting at that time, the landlord lived just right next door to us. And when we drove up, the landlord came out there and said, "Have you been to the babysitter?" We said, "No, we're going as soon as we put this meat up." And she said, "Well, I've got your kids." And we said, we were just floored. "What do you mean you have our kids?" And she said, "Well, you need to talk to the babysitter." She said, "Well, I've already called the police." And you can imagine, my child was 5 years old and less than 2 years old. And so, come to find out, my daughter, Carla, left that babysitter. And we're talking about in Houston. Over on Little York, if anybody's familiar with that little town, was a bad part of town at that time, and it may still be. And that's not where the babysitter lived, but you had to go through there to get to the babysitter. So what happened was, Carla said that she told that woman that she wanted to go home. Well, that's my daughter. Anyway, she had told me, I didn't know why. Carla had told me, I guess this is where you have to listen to your kids. Carla had told me that she didn't want to go back over there.
Wasn't they fussing at Chuck or something? Or maybe she thought they were mistreating him in some way?
I'll tell you what she told me.
Okay.
She said that the woman did snuff, which I guess I didn't know that. Maybe she don't do that when your parents is picking them up or whatever. And said the man smoked. And she says, I couldn't stand that smell. Now that's my 5-year-old. I could not stand that smell, Mother. And she told me that. But I still didn't relate it to her just not going to stay over there. So she said that Carla told me, she said, "Mother, I told my little brother Edward that if that next car is not you and Daddy, we're leaving." So sure enough, that next car wasn't. And so they went out the back door. This woman she had them out on the porch. She had a back porch and it was screened in. Apparently, she put the kids out there and left them for I don't know how long. But anyway, she opened the screen door. She opened the screen door and took her little brother and left. And they were walking down the road in Houston.
Bios and everything.
Yes, walking with Chuck. she said she couldn't pick him up. He was too heavy to pick up. Said she was just halfway dragging him. And these teenage kids came by and picked him up. And told him, asked him what was they doing, and Carla told him that she was going home. And so they said, "Where do you live?" She said, "I don't know, but I can tell you." And this is 5 years old. And so she said the teenage kids stopped at their house. It must have been on the route, and told their mother they had 2 little kids in the car, and their mother told them to put them kids out. That they better leave those kids alone. And but the mother should have called the police, but she didn't. The kids put them back in the car, and
thank God.
I know, put them back in the car, and Carla said that they offered them candy for every turn that she told them, and she said they would. She was when they get to a stop sign, she would say which way to go, right or left. Now Carla was very smart, and so every time they make a turn, those kids would give her a piece of candy. And so she directed them to the house. And when they got to the house, she seen our car wasn't there. So she told the boys just to keep going. And she said the reason she told them to keep going is because she wanted another piece of candy. She knew that they passed the house, but she said they passed the house 3 times, and then finally he said, "Well, I guess we're just lost. You don't know where you're at." She said, "No, I live right there." And he said, "Well, we done passed here 2 or 3 times." She said, "I know it, but give me another piece of candy." So they gave her another piece of candy. They drove in the driveway, and the landlord, they came out there and told them, and so she took the kids and kept the kids till we got home, which the babysitter said that she probably hadn't had them over 30 minutes. The Lord works in mysterious ways. If we had went to that babysitter and those kids not been there, that 30 minutes maybe that we took going to that meat market,
Bobby would probably kill somebody.
Bobby never laid a hand on me. He didn't believe in hitting a woman. He was not, but I'm telling you, when we went back over to that woman's house, he was so mad at that babysitter until I literally had to stand between him and that woman because he was fixing to tear into her. Because he told her, you are to teach your kids not to unlock doors. Well, you know, Carla knew not to unlock a door, but those babysitter, we was paying her. She should have kept an eye on those kids more than that. Anyway, that's just one of the blessings that the Lord, you know, he had his hands on my kids, and I just thank the Lord. But
He sure did.
I was just thinking about, when I think of Carla, I think about all those things when she was little, the things that she got into, and just so independent.
And thank God that the right person stopped and picked
Exactly.
her up.
I mean, I can't believe, I'm talking about, it was probably, I don't know how many miles, 6 or 7 maybe not, at least 5 miles from the babysitter, and lots of turns. It had to be a miracle that she told those kids how to get her back home. Well,
It definitely
I can't hardly do 2 things at a time. I get busy thinking and I forget what I'm doing. So I'm slowing down a little bit here, but I'm getting it. I'm gonna get it done.
And I got the oven on 350, preheated on 350. These are going in.
That's right. You cook them for about 35 minutes, but as soon as we get them. 2 more, and then we'll have them. You know, I've been, because of the weather, I've been more, and not just the rain, because it ain't rained that much in my house, but the sun, the heat. Because of that, I haven't really been outside a lot. Hadn't been doing as much outside as I normally do. So I've been in the house. Well, I'm telling you, I understand more how these elderly people and anybody that stays shut up in the house, and even now during the COVID, people that are working from home, you know, just staying in the house all day long, Linda,
it takes a toll on you. Yeah, it does.
It takes a toll on you. It just makes you feel bad. You need to get outside and get on the porch or get out in the yard and just breathe some deep deep
Some
fresh air and just get outside or go somewhere. Just be around people. It makes a difference. It makes such a difference because you can get depressed easy just sitting in the house and letting no sunshine in or no light. You know,
it's our nature to be around people. We
Yes,
like people. We like
yes.
being around them. We like visiting. You know, Paul Lee was like that.
Paul Lee was.
He loved being around his family and
Yeah.
going places and everything. And it does. I mean,
And Mama always, when Mama got sick, she'd want to go somewhere. And did you know I'm just like that? I don't want to stay in the house. If I'm
there's
sick,
something about it that
Yep.
not being around people and the uncertainty of everything that's been going on this year, it just makes a lot of difference when you're around people that you love and can get out and be out in the fresh air. Okay,
Linda,
so
did you melt the butter?
I did.
Okay, we melt 1 stick of butter.
I got you a pastry brush
Okay.
here.
And
This is one of my little.
well, we don't need the pastry
Oh,
brush.
you don't need that? Okay, it's one of my little sets of pampered chef.
Yeah, you put a 1.5 tablespoons of flour in your a stick of butter. Now this is per pan. I'll have to do another one.
Okay.
1.5 tablespoons of flour and 3/4 a cup of sugar. All right. You get another spoon. And that's 1.5 tablespoons of flour, 3/4 a cup of sugar, and
Kind of like
stick
a
of
little
butter. You just make it like this. And then you're gonna, can you see? These are the apple ones, which I'm gonna put the same thing over the peach too. But you just put this little filling on top of your dumplings. And this is really good, trust me. My kids are about like Mike, Linda's husband. He says if they say they like it, it's good. Because I don't get that too often from them grandkids. For them boys, the girls, they're easier to please as far as food than Linda's boys are. They're picky about their food.
Linda's pretty particular too about
Yeah,
what she
they
eats,
get that
so-
honest. Yep, Linda's.
Okay. That looks good.
All right, now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more sugar over sugar and cinnamon. And you use Mountain Dew or Sprite, any lemon soda. Use 3/4 a cup. And you just pour that around the edges. You see? All right. And these little Pampered Chef measuring cups is just perfect for pouring.
And speaking of Pampered Chef, for everyone that's following us and that knows that we have Pinky Miles and Pampered Chef page with Linda Pinkston Dalton, today's September the 1st, and we have our new products out today. So if you've been waiting to order, go to my page, go to the link. There's several different products that I'm really excited about. One of them is seasoning salt. And Mary, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there's a potato masher that
No, I hadn't.
it folds down. You
Oh,
know how
no.
they always
Yes,
get
yeah,
caught in the
yeah.
drawer?
No, I hadn't.
And there's a scoop and serve. There's several different products that
Okay.
I've got ordered that I'm really excited to get. Did I have else
Yes,
on
yeah,
this?
it's fine. So now I did another. If I wasn't doing two different kind, I probably would have done this all together. But since I'm doing two different flavors, don't really matter. It's just the way I did it. There's a 1/2 tablespoon. There's the other tablespoon. And this is 1 whole stick of butter and 3/4 cup of sugar. And you got the oven, is it is it
Yes,
on?
it's on, ready to go.
All right. What did I do? Linda's cleaning up my mess.
It's just a
What
little
was
bit-
that? Was
it
that butter? I don't know where it come from.
Just slopped there.
All right, let's get some sauce on this peaches. I'm anxious to find out how it does on these peaches.
I guarantee you it's gonna
I
be
know
good.
it's gonna be good. All that butter and sugar.
And how long do you bake this?
For about 35 minutes.
You probably already said that.
No, I don't know if I did or not. But 35 minutes is about, and this caramelizes on these croissants,
Oh, that's gonna be good. That looks so delicious.
doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now do another 3/4 cup of.
And especially with fresh apples.
Yeah.
Being out.
Oh, yeah.
These are gonna be really good.
Just pour it
This
around the
time of year.
edges. You don't want to pour it over your croissants because you got that sugar. The sugar is going to melt that filling I just put on there. It's going to melt anyway, but you want some of it to stay on top because that makes it a kind of a crusty on top if you don't wash it off.
I've never made these. These look so good.
I've made them several times, like I said, those grandkids, and I'm gonna put some more sugar and cinnamon on top too, just to kind of give it a little better glaze.
Now, are you gonna know which one's peach and which one's apple? Are you gonna put a little thing in them, or will you be able to see them?
You'll be able to see. You'll be able to see. All right, ladies, gentlemen, we have got peaches and apple dumplings, and we're putting it in the oven now.
And how many would you say per person of these? They're gonna eat more than one, aren't they?
Yes, yes. At least 2. Each
So,
person would
if
eat
you're-
at least 2.
If you're using these for dessert
Yes,
or even
yes.
for an evening snack, you need to make sure you
Every
cook it
every
up.
time I make it, I do two rows of the crescent rolls. I do 2
Okay,
of them every
we're gonna
time I
put
cook.
these in the
Yeah, we're
oven.
gonna put them in the oven. You can on top of the.
Either one.
It's
It's
not
not
on
on
the
the bottom rack, so
Okay.
that'll be fine.
All right. And 350 degrees for 35 minutes. Check them.
Okay, got the timer set.
All right. Thank you, Linda.
Okay.
All right.
I hope that y'all enjoyed this. We'll post the recipe later on today. And thank you for joining us. And we'll be back with you soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.